Can you promote this pawn? White is winning here, but you must find the correct moves, and first off, what happens if you simply try pushing your pawn straight away? The issue of this is that black can take your other pawn with their rook, and if they ever get behind your pawn like this, it's just kind of over. You can never really make any progress or promote. Yes, you can defend for a little bit, but simply black will start pushing the pawn, you can't make any progress, and this is just a draw. So what can you do instead here? Well, you can't play any slow move, like any king move here just doesn't work, because then black can take on g2. We get that same terrible situation. This is not going so well, so we need to do something about our g-pawn straight away. A move like rook to g1 here does defend, but it's simply too slow. Black can play rook up to a6 attacking you. You are forced to push, and then rook g6 here, and yeah, you are not promoting. However, there is another very interesting variation here, that being pawn up to g3. Why is this interesting? Well, after black here goes rook up to a6 once again, instead of you pushing your pawn up, you can actually play rook to f4 check here, defended by your pawn. Black must move their king, and now rook to g4, and now we are the ones behind our own pawn, and it looks like we can push and promote, but not quite, because black can play rook to e6 here, and unfortunately, after you push, rook to e8 check, and they are just going to block our pawn, and unfortunately, we cannot win here. However, with this idea in mind, we can play the incredible sacrifice here, rook to f4 check first, which is just crazy. But first off here, what happens if they don't take the bait? What happens if they go somewhere else? Well, then here you play rook to g4. We get the same situation, but we are one move faster. So here black can try rook to d2, but simply king c7, stopping them from getting in, and g7, g8 is unstoppable. They can give a check for a moment, but very soon they're going to run out of checks. They cannot stop you, and this is just winning. So that's good, but of course, what happens if they capture you? Well, then here, now we play g3, a second sacrifice. If black does not capture the pawn, then simply g7, g8, promotion unstoppable. If they do capture, well then their king blocks the g file, so g7, and they can't stop you. They can play a check for a moment, at which point don't capture their pawn, simply go king to a8, hide in the corner, g7 promotion is unstoppable, and this is winning.